Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and in this video I want to talk to you about the growing concern on electricity rates increasing. We all know that the current market conditions, inflation, whatever it might be, in a number of variables, the Fed rate hikes and so on and so forth, or pause, is impacting the average end user, right? The gas, the fuel, the food, everything is more expensive and the cost of living is going up, but the raises aren't, right? So you offset that by possibly mining XYZ token for a future possible payout or profit taking opportunity to help alleviate some of the stress that you might have on you and your family. Well, the cost of electricity has been rising, right? Ever since the COVID crash, it's just been a uphill trend for the cost of electricity. So mining with your GPUs, ASICs, FPGAs, you kind of have to balance, efficiency. You always want to be efficient, but you always have to balance, your efficiency, your cost per kilowatt hour, and so on and so forth. And it's not even as bad here in North America as it is in other countries like the EU or across the Asia Pacific. Now, I do have some numbers here of the electricity rates updated in August 2023, and I just want to show you this, compare some numbers, but also warn you about the future. So right now, some states in the U.S. are going down. Like Alabama went down about 2.9%, almost 3% between August 2022 to August 2023. But Alaska went up 1.86%. Arizona went up 4%. Arkansas went down 6%. And you can see this by state, including mine, where we went down from around 12 cents per kilowatt hour to 11.3 cents per kilowatt hour, about 5.5 or 5.4%. So it ranges from state to state. But as the U.S. and the administration continue to push forward with the infrastructure bill, we're going to have power companies offset the cost of upgrading their overall electrical grids, infrastructure, systems, stations, whatever it might be, on the customer, and we might see those increase. Also, there's another key point that actually Coin Bureau talked about that I was already aware of, but I don't think many of you are. And that is, we are in an El Nino year. And typically when there's an El Nino year, right, where the hot waters in the Pacific will be a lot warmer than average, we see some unusual effects from that. One of the effects we see is weird hurricanes, right? We had a hurricane hit California, and that's not as common as many people think. Now, it has happened throughout the years that the Earth has been present, but it's not as common, right? Normally, it's on the Atlantic coast going towards the East Coast or the Gulf or what have you. Additionally, this causes the winters in the U.S., especially the central U.S., to be a lot warmer than normal. But then also the EU eats up a lot of the natural gas because they need more to stay warm, right, during those cold winters. So I'm going to play a clip from them to talk about this subject, but I just wanted to make sure that you, the end user, whether you're a at-home miner, small, mid-scale, large-scale operation, that you're just aware of this, because I have a feeling that the electricity rates, and this may not be right now, the electricity rates though, while some places are going down and some people are seeing an uptick of 2 to 5%, that this may be even further exacerbating the issue and causing the electricity rate to go up. So if that happens and the mining profitability does not offset or continue, like the profitability of mining XYZ coin doesn't increase, then a lot of people are going to be turning off their rigs and selling their equipment during this time, and so the secondhand market might have another influx of devices or crypto mining hardware that you could get your hands on, or they're just getting completely out of the game, and maybe some of you might consider the same. So let me play this video from Coin Bureau, and we'll go from there.
It can sometimes have significant indirect effects. This pertains to our first prediction, which is that the EU could experience the cold winter that we predicted last year. It goes without saying that nobody can predict the weather, but Europe typically experiences colder winters during El Nino years, years when the Pacific Ocean is abnormally warm. As you might have heard, we are in an El Nino year. As reported by the Financial Times, quote, "There is not enough storage for all of Europe's gas demand, and risks such as colder temperatures and global supply disruptions may leave Europe again looking for alternative sources of gas, as it did last year. What you're looking at are the effects of Europe buying up said natural gas from said alternative sources. It resulted in a doubling of gas prices. It also caused the prices of other energy commodities to spike because the countries that were outbid by the EU on natural gas had to bid for other energy sources instead. Consider that this is what happened to energy commodities during a mild winter in Europe. If there's a cold winter, or even just a couple of cold snaps, Europe could start buying up lots of energy commodities. This would cause energy prices to spike even more, which could bring inflation up around the world. In turn, central banks in both the EU and other jurisdictions facing this energy-driven inflation would have to raise interest rates in response in order to keep inflation expectations anchored, as Christine said in her speech. This would cause the prices of most assets to fall as consumers and companies get squeezed.
So just focusing on the energy aspect of that note or that information that Coin Bureau provided, just prepare yourself, your farm, your setup, your configuration for a possible increase in electricity rates as the EU gobbles up the natural gas. And this is if they have a really cold winter instead of a mild winter. Mild winter would probably be fine, might see a little bit of an uptick, but most of the US is down now. However, that could change, and we could see most of the US and other places, right? Because as the EU gobbles up all that energy supply from the natural gas commodity, then we're going to see various vendors or power distributors outbid one another for other resources, whatever that may be, whatever their mix is, because it really depends which power company we're talking about and what energy mix they're utilizing, whether it's fossil fuels, solar, hydro, wind energy, whatever it might be. So just prepare yourselves is the point that I'm trying to emphasize here, just in case your electricity rate does climb up, especially here in the US, not only because the infrastructure bill is trying to get enacted or the power companies are trying to upgrade their infrastructure, offsetting the cost of said infrastructure, even if they had the federal government's money to do it, they're going to offset some of that cost to the end user or to the consumer, as well as the EU having a substantially cold winter, whether mild or above, that's going to gobble up the natural gas, causing the other energy commodities to be a little bit more, to be less available, causing a rate increase in your electric across your state, country, region, whatever it might be. So as long as you're prepared for that, we should be all good. Always adapting, overcoming, and being aware of the situations around you, not just keeping tunnel vision, looking at the charts all the time. There's a number of circumstances that impact us as miners and our jobs, our roles, and whatever it might be. But I wish you nothing but the best. Please do me a favor on the way out. Hit the like button. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out some of the links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. And I hope you have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.